perspective, so many people have ankle sprains, and when I used to work with gymnasts and cheerleader tumblers, I'm pretty sure each team has an ankle sprain that happens. So in this video, we're going to tell you a few exercises to release some of that tension in the ankle and a few ways to strengthen your ankles to bulletproof you from future injuries. So we're going to use the skeleton again. So the ankle is a hinge joint, so it comes up and then it comes down. And if we just move over, just come forward a bit. And here you can see there's a little gap over here. And if you imagine, if people have a sprain, they often sprain on the outside of the ankles over here. And that can cause swelling and stiffness all around the front of the ankles. So what we're going to do, you can do a bit of a quick kind of self-assessment first, and then I can give you some strategies to work on opening up the front of the ankles. So, feet-wise, can you stand here all the way to the wall? You don't have an ankle sprain, do you?
Don't have an ankle sprain.
Can you roll your trousers up? So with any ankle sprain, ankle problem, the first thing you want to just check that you don't have any more swelling. So you're just having a look between the left and the right. Is there anything that looks beefier than the other? And then you can always just having a feel yourself as well. Is there any stiffness coming out to the side of the joints? To just check that they're okay. The other thing that I'd like to look at is the crease line. So if you imagine you have a bit more of a swelling, some people will have more of a crease line here, lower than the other. And that's also a good indication to see whether you've got a bit of discrepancy in the
bit of swelling
on one side than the other, a bit of puffiness. And then the other thing I like to look at is if you slide feet slightly forward and see whether you can lock your knees there. See how far you can bring your feet up. And then the other side. So this is working on the muscles in the front, like tibialis anterior. But you can also have a little compare if you lost strength in one of them after that, because that can actually be one of your exercises. You're like, I'm struggling to lift it. It's feeling stiff. And this can be something you can try. Right, so the first exercise I'm going to teach you is a bit of self-mobilization. Like I said, if you just came out of an ankle sprain, you're able to walk on it, you're able to do everyday life without any problem, but it's just that little bit stiff, then you can get a band, and you're going to wrap it around the front of your ankles. I talked about how the ankle is a hinge joint. So for this to happen, the joint needs to be able to spin, roll, and glide backwards and to open and close like that. So you're going to just pull it above your ankle, maybe a little bit lower there. So you're actually on the joint. So there you go. So you just feel the fall of the bones there. And then you're going to do a lunge into it. So you're bringing your knees forwards. Another way to know that whether your ankle is stiff, you can actually measure as well. While Sam's doing that, I'm going to talk to this measurement. Basically, it's called a knee to wall test. I might need to change the camera as an angle. I'm going to use this block over here. So this is a wall. Maybe you don't know what it is. So if this is a wall, you can bring your knees as far forward until as far as you can go without that heel lifting up, and then you can measure how far between your toes and the wall is. And then you can do the same on the other side, and then if you know one side doesn't go as far, you need to work on that range of motion because there's a bit of stiffness there. So that's one thing. Thank you. You can take the band out. The other thing I quite like after ankle injuries is practicing heel raises. Just so when you think heel raises are amazing. From an injury prevention perspective, some research in dance particularly saying you need about 25 things like heel raises for injury prevention, which is quite a lot. But if you feel like I was just getting better from an injury, you just want to get them stronger, an exercise that I love is having this ball in between your ankle. Then you're going to rise up and then come down without losing the ball the whole time. So you're actively engaging all the intrinsic muscles and all the calf muscles in the back as well. And if you feel like a challenge, you can do the same with slight knee bend, which often is a little bit harder because you're working the soleus, the deeper ones, slightly smaller muscle bulk. Lovely. Thank you. There's the ball back. Another really good practice, because we don't only just lose range of motion, we also lose a bit of balance. So are you able to face me and stand on one leg to me? Just whatever thing. So one other really good exercise is throw and catch. We do have a lot of spaces. And you can challenge the catch in lots of different directions. Lovely. Okay, so another thing that you can practice, making it harder. So you've got your throw and catch, you've got your strengthening, the last one is dynamic control. Apologies if you can't see it fully. So this is a wobble board, so it makes a balance a bit harder. So can you stand on one side and face the wall for me? Maybe stand on that way. So you can challenge your left foot to move in multiple directions. So see whether you can slide, maybe like stand on that one leg there, and slide as far as forward you can go with this leg, and then slide as far backwards, and then forwards, and then backwards. Similarly, you can come up to the side as well, so you can go sideways. And sometimes people have a bit of instability to the side, so yeah, and you can do a clockwise and anti-clockwise drills too. And if you're a dancer, you can go into it. You can go into like hand out and leg lift, all sorts of things. But I found if you do have a wobble board at home, it does just give that a little bit of instability, like an even surface, so your muscles have to work even harder for the same thing. Awesome. So these are the early stages of exercise that I would do, and if you want to progress to higher ability, I think definitely works. We can do help provider for that. And I just
Drop the ball.